Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
She's passionate about telling stories of amazing women who are rocking the world and empowering women to live, love, and thrive. Here's your host, Catherine Gray.
Hi, welcome to Live, Love, Thrive, Women's Empowerment Hour, brought to you, of course, by 360 Karma. We hope you're visiting our website and our Facebook, and of course, also following the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at My360 Karma. So today, as always, we have on a remarkable woman. She is a young female entrepreneur that's rising star, and we are so happy to have her. Please give a warm welcome to Nico Juber. Hi, Nico.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I love having a young entrepreneur on, and what you're doing is really cool. I'm excited at talking about it.
Definitely.
Also wanted to just talk about what an incredibly talented family you come from. It's just like, creative juices running in you all's blood, I think.
I think, it must be genetic. I don't know.
It must be genetic. I wonder how they would, look at DNA and look at creativity, Yeah. But your mom has been on my show, who I just adore, Hope. She's very creative, has her band and her acting and does all kinds of creative things.
Yep.
Your grandfather, of course, creator of Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island, two of my favorite, shows, nostalgically. And your dad is a fantastic, amazing guitar player.
Yes.
Played with Paul McCartney, Wings.
That's right.
Your sister, an incredible songwriter.
Yes.
I'm not kidding you. The creativity runs in this family.
Yeah.
And then you, of course, being a young entrepreneur yourself.
The business one. I don't know where I came from.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling me the only one in the family that got the business savvy. So I think you might be the luckiest, because business savvy is like so invaluable.
It's fun, and I think it's another level of creativity. And
it is. Yeah, a different form. Yeah. But I think you've got both. Right?
I think so. Yeah. So I do some of the family business stuff. So I play guitar and I sing and I write and I do all of those things that my family does really well. But I also have the other side of it. And I think that I was always that person in school. I was good at everything, but I wasn't super good at one thing in the same way that my dad just has to play guitar. Right. He's got to have a guitar in his hands at all times.
Some people just eat, live, and breathe their gift.
Right. Yeah. My sister has to be doing music and writing songs, and I felt like I've always sort of been spread across the board and not so focused, and I think that's what I've loved about entrepreneurship is that it's actually a good thing if you are good at lots of things and you know where you need to pull in help and you get to create something. So it's a different kind of creativity, but it's nice to finally feel like, there's a thing for people like me.
Right. I think I'm like you. I have many different things, not just one that I focus on.
Absolutely.
And your sister, when I say songwriter, I didn't mean to brush over that, because she's a very prolific songwriter. She writes for some very big name people. I know she's been traveling with like Miley Cyrus and
she's I mean Mark Ronson, she is Shawn Mendes, a lot of incredible people. So I'm really proud of her. I know my family is really proud of her, and she's working really hard.
You do in that industry.
Absolutely.
Music industry is a tough one. But,
it sounds. She'll give me a call. I was up until 3 a.m. last night in the studio, and I'm like, oh man, that's exhausting. While I have kids pulling at me, from all sides. So I guess it's all exhausting, right?
Just take your pick. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you are remarkable. We've talked about your background and the challenges that you've had. And I want to talk about your newest venture, which is Tough Mamas.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about what Tough Mamas is and how it can help other women who, like yourself, have had children. And we're going to talk about health and fitness for women, after having children.
Yes.
Prenatal, postpartum,
Yeah, exactly.
And so before we talk about that, I want to talk about your challenges growing up, you had shared with me that you had some physical challenges in your 20s. So tell me a little bit about that.
So, well, when I was 19, so I was
19.
in college. So I left LA. I went to college in Boston at Tufts University, and when I was 19, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. I know
that's a form of cancer.
It's a form of cancer.
Right.
Yeah. People are kind of familiar with Hodgkin's disease and young people getting that. I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is actually a huge subset of everything else that's not Hodgkin's.
Oh.
And but it was one that a lot of young people tend to get, and so I went through chemo.
Wait, when you say a lot of young people,
not a lot.
I mean, but
yeah.
You mean of all the different cancers, it's kind of the more prevalent with younger people?
With younger, women. Some women get it during pregnancy, for example. They don't know why you get it.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people get it during pregnancy.
Well, just I think it's due to the age range, just because it tends to be kind of women in this subset, but also men. I mean, it's across the board, and they don't know genetically. There's no link to anything, so it's really frustrating to have one of those cancers where you go, well, what did I do, and how do I not do that again?
Right.
So
and is it known to be a result of doing anything, or is it really just hereditary?
No, there's nothing. There's nothing. They don't know.
Yeah.
So there are definitely things that can increase your risks of it, such as if you're immunocompromised, because it is an immune system cancer.
Right.
There are some, I guess, chemical agents that you'll see commercials for that have led people to developing it from an immune perspective. But in my case, they still have not figured out why it happens. And I had someone explain it to me that basically you had some cells that should have gone zig and they went zag. And so, and nobody stopped them. That's how it happened.
But you have overcome that.
Yes.
And you were sharing with me that you actually, while you were going through that, developed a program at WeSpark, which is run by Nancy Allen, who we adore here.
Yeah, no, that was so funny that we were talking about it. So when I was going through treatment, I actually knew Nancy. We taught a class together, an improv class, and I knew Wendy Jo when she launched it. And it was a really impactful place for me, and I got a lot out of being there and going to support groups there. When I was done with my treatment and done with chemo, done with radiation, I realized that transition back as a young adult kind of into the world was a really tough transition.
Right.
To go, well, now what? How do I take care of myself? How do I deal with some of these issues that have come up for me health-wise, psychosocially? And it was hard to find other people that knew what I was talking about. I'd go to those support groups, and I would be the youngest person there.
Right.
And it's been amazing. There are some incredible organizations that have come up over the past 16 years since I went through this, such as Stupid Cancer, Pieces of Livestrong. I wanted to create something that was really specific to post-treatment, young adults, kind of what's next after cancer treatment is done. And so my friend Sunshine and I, who's the only young adult cancer survivor that I had ever met at that point, created...
I love her name.
Sunshine, I know.
Yeah.
We created Thrive Survive. And
wow. And that was within the WeSpark program?
That was actually outside. So we're our own nonprofit project. We're a part of the Giving Back Fund, and we have recently actually partnered with WeSpark to bring our support group there.
Oh, I love that. So for people that don't know what WeSpark is, it is an organization that helps, from what I understand, the caretakers as well as the cancer survivors.
Yeah, absolutely. Family members, caretakers, survivors at any stage. It's a really wonderful place. Actually, I can walk there from my house in Sherman Oaks, which is really awesome. But yeah, just an incredible resource. I think all the services are free. And so when we were looking for a new home for our support group, they just seemed like a really natural place to go. They had a young adult support group for people going through treatment, and we wanted to become the next step. A lot of the times adult groups will separate out in treatment and out of treatment, but young adults, because there wasn't necessarily the critical mass of people, they'd keep them together. And I think it's really important to have a separate space where you can feel safe to talk about what your challenges are once you've completed your treatment, as opposed to the day-to-day when you're in the throes of treatment.
And what are those challenges that you have after the treatment and after you've survived something like that? What are some challenges?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's fertility issues. You know, I was told we don't know if you can have kids until you start trying.
Right.
It's like a 50-50 kind of thing.
But the good news is you have 2 kids.
I did.
Two beautiful, healthy kids.
And happened like no problem. So
that's so wonderful.
But I had no idea until I started trying. And then there's other, just dating. You got to tell that to people that you may have lost your fertility and you know that. And you've got to tell that to somebody that you meet or a potential partner and say, listen, how do you feel about adopting? How do you feel about different ways of having a family?
So when you met your husband, you disclosed this? And, and he was like on board?
Absolutely. And but it
what
has
a great
to become,
guy.
Yeah, he's great. But it has to become a part of the conversation earlier on than you would think as someone dating in your, teens, 20s, 30s that you wouldn't necessarily have otherwise. There's other health issues. I can't remember the statistic, but I think it's somewhere around 2/3 of young adult survivors have some sort of chronic health condition, no matter what that is. I have to deal with my thyroid having been impacted from radiation treatment and amongst some other things. So
and you were telling me like energy level and stuff. You have to kind of preserve your energy.
Exactly. So I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue after seeing neurologists and going, I just don't know why my energy is not what it used to be. And they go, well, chemo brain, cancer fatigue, they kind of, everyone shrugs their shoulders and you sort of have to figure out, how do I take care of my energy? How do I pace myself? How do I exercise? How do I eat well? And to fuel myself so that I'm able to manage that. And now especially having kids.
Especially. Talk about a lot of energy.
It's a whole other thing.
And like I would never know that because obviously you're always very energetic and, so you never know what people are dealing with.
Right. And so some of that is just making sure you're getting enough sleep. And I know that for me, exercise is really important to keeping my energy levels up. And you learn.
And I think that's for everybody.
I think it's true, absolutely.
But maybe especially in your situation. But
and you and I talked about this. Every body is different. Every person is different. Different things are going to work for different people. Some people are like, I don't need coffee, and I run 5 marathons. And I'm like, well, I can't relate to that, but good for you.
Exactly.
But hey, if that's their body and that's what works for them, that's great. It's just not me. So.
Yeah, and it's good to be aware. Well, that's great that you started that group. And a side note, you were saying you also did an improv.
Well, we did it. So Nancy and I, if I'm remembering correctly, this was going back 16 years, and I was going through chemo at the time. It was a class for kids whose parents were going through treatment. To give them something else fun to do. And I always did improv growing up with my mom.
Really? Fun.
She took me to classes throughout my teenage years. I would be the random teenager that was like Gary Austin, who was a close friend of, he passed away not too long ago. He was an incredible teacher of improv, and I feel really lucky that I got to go to his classes and learn some of those skills that I actually think have benefited me more probably than any other skills that I learned as a teenager, because it got me able to get up in front of people and talk and come up with ideas quickly. I think every teenager should take improv. So
okay, I love that idea. After having your kids, you were working out with an incredible trainer, Debbie.
Yes, Debbie.
Yeah,
so,
Debbie.
Debbie Seraphim. And
Seraphim. Okay.
Yes.
And I love what you said. You said, I wish everyone had access to Debbie that had kids and was going through having to get their body back in shape and their energy and everything.
Absolutely.
And so that's what made you come up with this idea, Tough Mamas, where you all have recorded these different exercises and whatnot, the steps that you're doing, that you did with her, so people online could have access to this.
Yeah. Exactly. And so there was one day she was training me. She was actually holding my youngest, like kind of bouncing her, and I'm squatting. And I looked at her and I go, how do people do this? Like, if I don't have time to think about what exercises to do. Is it leg day? Is it this or that? I just wanted someone to come and tell me what to do for 30 to 60 minutes and just take the guesswork out for me and make it kind of workable for me in my schedule. And then the other thing that I loved about Debbie is she's so positive. She's so body positive, and she is the first to say that your body is not the same after you have kids. It's just, you can't have this expectation of, oh, I need to get this pre-baby body back. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Hormones and all sorts of things happening, and especially in that critical time where you might be breastfeeding, you might be dealing with other challenges physically.
And like, you need to be taking care of your health more than ever, but you don't have the time or the energy to think about it. So that kind of fixes that. Someone comes in and
just tells you what to do.
Yeah.
And so
normally I don't like to be told what to do, but in this case,
no. But in this case, and I remember that we went to. I went to the doctor for my 6-week or 8-week checkup after I had my kids, and they look at you and go, so what are you doing to take care of yourself? What are you doing for exercise? And you kind of look at them and go, I got this like baby attached to me. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, well, they have those things where you go with the strollers in the park. I'm like, no,
not happening.
It's not happening. So I wanted to, with Debbie, create something that was sort of for everyone else who couldn't get out of the house and wanted to just be told what to do by someone who could kind of be your mom best friend and make you laugh and make you feel good about yourself.
And does she incorporate the kids into the exercise?
No, I'm married to a lawyer, so that's way too much liability for us. But no, we thought about it, and we were advised against it.
So this is like while they're sleeping, here's something you could do.
It's on demand. You can pause it. You can do it on your own time. They're 30-minute, full body, really positive. You know, Debbie's a lot of fun, and that's why I said I want to give Debbie to everybody. Everyone needs a Debbie when they're going through this time. And we made it so that you can do it while you're pregnant. There are pregnancy modifications. There's postpartum modifications, kind of all the way through.
Right.
And I mean, I still use them. I think they're great, even when your kids are not newborns. So, but that's really, they're custom tailored with modifications for sore wrists, for breastfeeding, and diastasis, and things that are really considerations when you are pregnant or you've just had a baby. So,
having always worked really for corporations, you know, Apple and Adobe and stuff, breaking out as an entrepreneur is really fun and challenging.
Yes.
But with your marketing background, I would think that, and expertise, I would think it would help, you know, with this process of starting your own business. And I love talking about this because I love listeners to hear what, you know, entrepreneurs go through to start their business. It's as a serial entrepreneur, I definitely relate to this.
Oh, it's just all the little pieces, right? So I mean, whether it's, hey, what about music in the videos? Well, we got to come up with our own music because you have to there's royalties you got to pay. And so it's all those little pieces that you don't realize until you're actually in the throes of it, and then things keep popping up. Well, what about this and what about that? But it's a lot of fun, and kind of goes back to the creative process in it, where we actually decided from kind of the beginning in developing our back end that we wanted to sell this in different ways. We didn't want to be competing with all of the fitness that's sort of thrown at new moms that's out there. We wanted to create this new category of really not only taking the guesswork out and replicating the experience of having a personal trainer, but then also taking the decision out for the new mom themselves. So that in different ways. So we created a gift card.
I love that. You have the gift card,
I have
right?
It here.
Yeah.
We have a gift card, and so
I love that.
We want to get this we're hoping to get it into retail locations as a new mom gift or something.
So like I could go into, let's just say, Target, and I could, you know, purchase this for somebody that just had a newborn.
Absolutely.
I think it's an awesome gift because, you know, first, what do you give them? They all are getting the same thing, stuff for the kid. But what about something for the mom?
Well, exactly.
You know, I love that idea.
And it doesn't take up space.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
You can just slip it into a card, and it's thoughtful.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to, again, take that guesswork out that somebody else is taking care of you and making sure that you're spending that time on yourself. And then the other way that we're really focusing is partnering with organizations that want to include it as an addition to a maternity benefit.
Right. So you're going to like corporations and saying, you know, when you hire the people, you can say, hey, for maternity, we have this program that our company offers to help you get back into shape and get back your energy. And
to support women through pregnancy, postpartum, and transition back to work, which is a huge period of time.
Yeah.
And organizations lose a lot of employees that way. Like a lot of women don't come back to work, or they feel like I'm not being supported during this time, and it's really expensive to replace women in the workplace. And so
I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're very excited. We just launched our offerings really recently. We launched it at the Society for Human Resource Management Diversity and Inclusion show, and we thought that would be a great place to talk about, you know, people who are looking at initiatives for women, supporting women, and just kind of gauging.
Yeah, there's a few companies looking for that right now.
Yeah, but just
thanks to that election yesterday.
Yes,
Woo-hoo!
I know. What a time, man. Yeah,
all those women in office. We're loving that.
That really, more than anything, no matter what your political beliefs are, the amount of women and the diversity of women that got elected in this country is just unbelievable.
And on both sides of the fence, the women. So I'm so thrilled about that.
Yeah.
And I would think with a lot more women becoming CEOs, I know a lot of companies now are moving women up into the CEO position. There's been several announcements recently, and that those would be a great one for you to target. Because obviously, which is why there should be women CEOs, because they can relate to having the childbearing and all that goes with that, trying to get yourself back into shape, that they would, I think, welcome and love your program to offer to their employees.
Yeah, and well, the other piece of it is so we definitely want to be supportive of women employees, but then it's also a family benefit, so partners can use it as well.
Oh,
so
great.
That kind of opens up. But there's, a lot of organizations where both the employees and the partners are having babies, and how do we best support everyone? They may be on the same health plan. We want to keep everybody healthy and sustainably healthy in a way that's not again, results, get your body back. No, this is something you do twice a week. It keeps you that gives you that baseline of strength training that can keep you healthy through this transitional time. You can fit it into your schedule. You're not trying to get to the gym. And has the modifications.
And not only is it a great benefit for the employee, but also it's good for the employer. I mean, if someone's feeling better and more energetic and happier, then they're coming back being a better employee.
You're feeling supported by your organization, that they're taking these issues seriously. That if you're a breastfeeding mom and your wrists hurt and you're pumping, and like these are all challenges that you face, and you may not have the time to take care of yourself in the same way that you used to. So,
well, with all you've been doing, I wanted to mention too your book.
Oh yeah,
because you're also an author.
Well,
and this, of course, was back when you were having the cancer challenges.
So this is actually a newer book. So we had an ebook.
10 to Thrive, it's called, right? 10 to Thrive.
You can buy it on Amazon. We sell it at cost. I think it's about $5. And
oh my gosh, that's all?
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, if anyone wants to help, it doesn't donate anything to us. The best thing that you could do is buy one and give it to your local cancer center so that they have it on site.
Oh, that's great. Now, 10 to Thrive features like 10 specialists that help people to thrive once they've had cancer.
Yeah, so it's all specific advice from members of the survivorship community. We've got folks talking about your legal rights.
I saw that.
Accommodation
legal,
at work.
Sex.
Everything.
Yeah.
Dating, money, things that you may not think about unless you're a young adult who's finishing cancer treatment.
I actually have some friends that would love this book. I'm going to get a few.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great resource.
Good. Yeah. I'm really excited. We just got it converted to be a physically printed book, and we thought we could reach a lot more people that way. So that just happened this year.
Great.
So,
well, I'm going to wrap up and just say I told you she was remarkable.
Oh my gosh, are we done? Is that all the time?
I know. So the book 10 to Thrive for your friends that are recouping from cancer
Yes.
or struggling with it. And then Tough Mamas, which is they can soon be getting a gift card or bringing it to their organization
Absolutely.
for employee benefits.
Yes.
Or just giving it to a friend. So
Yep.
that's helping women before and after they're having their child to bounce back and get their energy back and their life back. But it's something they can continue with.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, no reason to stop.
Awesome. And so many dads now are taking maternity leave that it makes sense for the whole family.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
something
Oh,
they
yeah.
can do together.
Well,
Yeah.
Debbie likes to joke. So her husband tries to do the videos, but she says that he has a hard time. So, so yes, dads can do it too.
I love it. Well, thanks so much, Nico, for being
Thank
on.
you for
Thank
having
you for
me.
everything that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like everything you're doing is giving back, and that's what we're all about here.
Thank
Women
you.
that are successful and they're giving back and paying it forward. So tune in with us next week, every Wednesday, here at noon on UBN. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are, whether it's iTunes, iHeart, YouTube, or whatever. And be sure to visit at 360karma.com. We're all about women's empowerment and telling stories of amazing women that are helping make the world a better place. We'll see you next week. Make it a great week. Hugs and happiness.